Welcome, everyone. Once again, another edition of the Kawicki Driver Development Program updates. I am Lance Allan and pleased to be joined by my new friend from Wisconsin. We've talked a handful of times and we bring him back once again because he's right in the mix. Bryce Miller, hometown Columbus, Wisconsin, competed in 10 races so far in 2025, running that super late model this year, and he's the 10th KDDP finalist from the state of Wisconsin. So, Bryce, welcome back to the program. Welcome back to this fine medium. And how is the season going so far as I welcome you in? And what can you update us on since the last time we talked, my friend?
Hey Lance, it's good to be back on the show or back talking with you. It feels like it's been a while since the end of the first segment, and we had a lot of racing in between there. And the second segment, I was working on just building up, getting better finishes, and unfortunately, it kind of was up and down. And as you know, with the world of racing, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. And unfortunately, the second segment was a little bit of an uphill battle, but we made the most of it. We had two engine failures that really kind of set us back, but we were still at every race and just got better and better. And so just hoping that mechanical failures for this third segment coming up is behind us, and we can focus on going forward and winning races.
You mentioned kind of some of the shortfalls during segment two, Bryce. What did you feel like was more a positive or something that you really enjoyed from segment two?
Yeah, obviously, an engine failure is a big hit to a small team like us. And in those moments, my team, we never gave up, and we were able to kind of turn lemons into lemonade kind of deal. Or we blew up at Hawkeye Downs, and we had a local school that was coming out that we bought tickets for, and a hot dog and a pass and everything for them to check out their first race. And so, not after we blew up in first practice, we were third quick and had a lot of speed. So, we was really looking forward to it. So. After we lost the engine, instead of just pack up and head home and take the engine out, we kind of stayed around for the entire race. And we had a kid, Menyo, that we visited at the local school and took him around through the pits and kind of showed him the operations of what it's like behind the scenes. And then not only did we do that, we actually brought the car to the front gate and was signing autographs, letting kids sit in the cars, and just making the most of the opportunity. So sometimes you just can't control stuff that happens, and I feel like we did a really good job controlling the controllables in segment two.
I hate to laugh at your plight, my friend, but the old Ricky Bobby saying is you either win or you crash spectacularly. And those kids, they probably love the fact that, like you said, a smaller team. I don't mean to laugh at it, but when you blow a motor, it's probably a pretty big deal. And those kids probably are like, well, they probably asked you a lot of questions about it.
They did, and honestly, they got to hang out with me more than if I raced. So for them, it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big hit for our team, and we had to really dig deep and just kind of, as Alan said, you got to find a way. So that's what we did, and we persevered and got through it. And our engine builder is not in the States, so we had to travel, a couple states away to kind of get this engine back, and we did it multiple times after a couple different part failures. So there was a lot of miles, a lot of highway miles, a lot of late nights that we're leaving at midnight to go to the engine builder at 7:30 in the morning so I can work on it right away. And it's just kind of what you got to do as a racer. And this program really pushes you to be better and to just find a way and do it your way.
One lighthearted question for you. Do you get to stop and ever smell the roses? Because as we were kind of talking before we started this segment, now we're into the segment, like, in Wisconsin, we love our sports. So it's like the Brewers are hot as of when we're doing this, and the Packer season is ready to go, and they've got high hopes, and the Badgers are getting ready to kick off, and just all the stuff. And we just had IndyCar here at the Milwaukee Mile. Is there ever a moment where you even have a chance to breathe and kind of catch up on other stuff that you like?
Not really. I'm a huge golfer. I love golfing. I played one round and I think I shot like six over, so I still got it, but just don't have time to do any of that. We're in the middle of the race season, and you mentioned all those sporting events that kind of happened since segment one. Well, not only had that, we had the Slinger Nationals, we had the Allen Quickie Memorial, we had the Dixieland 250, all these big races that were within that segment two, and we got even more to look forward to. The one that I kind of got circled is Oktoberfest 200. We finished seventh there last year and ran really good. So there's a lot of big races left to be had.
I shot a 96 the other day, so I need your game where I can just show up once and be like +6 or something like that. That's impressive. I like that. Oktoberfest, I've been there a number of times. That is a tremendous weekend, tremendous race. So good luck there. And then also, I think we talked about it before, but it never gets old to me, and I don't think it gets old to you. Just how has the Kawicki program really changed you as a person and a driver, and just given you a different?
It's changed me in so many ways, and I think one of the biggest reasons or biggest things that stood out to me is just the opportunity we have and the reach we can get with outside of the racetrack. Obviously, without this program, you're kind of just not going through the motions, but you're just racing and you're just kind of involved with that community alone. We've been able to expand, across the Midwest, honestly, going to different local schools, boys and girls clubs, different fundraisers like the Badger Honor Flight. And so just knowing that you have that impact and that opportunity in the local community has really kind of hit home for me and something that I can want to continue to do beyond the program. So that's really kind of meant a lot to me. And then obviously when you have that number 7 on the side of your race car, the amount of questions and people that come up to you at the races and like, hey, I knew Alan when he was racing here, or this and that, is so cool. And just kind of getting to build those relationships at the racetrack has been also really, really cool.
Really cool that what you did at Cedar Rapids, Iowa, for those kids from Kenwood Leadership Academy, and I know that's part of the Kawicki program. So we do also have to emphasize other charitable opportunities that you've had so far this year, and other ways that you've given back, Bryce.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fundraisers going on. We had the Badger Honor Flight. We have a Quote of Valor that we made, and it's American flagged. It looks really cool. And one of my sponsors, he jumped on as well, and he's donating a 4 pass to the Smoky Hollow Campground in Lodi, Wisconsin. So there's so many things that we've done and raise money, and the Boys and Girls Club in Sun Prairie there. We went there and did donuts and breakfast in the one morning, and there was I mean, kindergarten through 8th grade of different ages, and it was so cool. Just the questions that they ask, and a lot of them have never seen a race car before, so they got to all sit in it. And their favorite thing was when we were at their Boys and Girls Club facility there, the fans, the brake blower fans. I had them all go up front, and I flipped the fans on, and they were like feeling the suction coming throughout the car there. So they loved that and thought that was the coolest thing ever.
That's cool because yeah, obviously you don't know how you'll impact a kid, but a kid is always going to remember that for the rest of their life. Trust me on that because I was that kid one day. You were that kid once upon a time. I mean, yeah, the kids love that stuff. And now here comes the segment of the program where we announce kind of where you're at in the race and the chase, so to speak. And you were leading in segment 1. And now in segment 2, because you had mentioned a little bit of adversity, you are now in second place. So does that change your mentality? Do you feel like you got to step it up now that you're currently riding in second? And what do you feel about that?
I feel good. Obviously things didn't go our way, and so we controlled what we can control. And racing's the toughest sport in the world. Just ask anybody. So there's so many things and so many variables that can go wrong, and so I'm not worried. Just a little bit extra motivation, if anything, and I'm just excited to go back racing because it felt like a month there that I was just kind of sitting on the sidelines, and we're doing all the work and doing all the things that we could control, and just unfortunately it just didn't go our way. So. There's so many other things that go towards these things, and it's a lot of work, and it's never ending. And as I always say, a race car's never done, right? It's just time to go racing. So I'm just excited to get back going racing. We got a big one this Saturday at Dells Raceway Park for the Jim Sauter 200, which the Sauter name in Wisconsin is pretty prevalent. So it's pretty cool to race in that race, and so many other ones to come here in the future.
Yeah, you mentioned the Dells and Sauter. You mentioned Oktoberfest. Kind of what are maybe some other things that you have coming up in the next few months, and what are kind of your goals and maybe your checklist, so to speak?
Yeah, there's a lot. Obviously, Dells Raceway Park is one of our better tracks, and so looking to just start that off, just getting a top 10 and having a really good competitive run. It's a huge race, and there's pit stops, so you got to have all facets check marked on that race. And then we go back to the Dells, and then there's an Elko race, Oktoberfest 200. That's on Sunday, but there's also the Trickle 99 on Friday. So there's so many races, and then we cap it all off at Dells Raceway Park. But that's kind of the on-track stuff. One thing that I was really proud of and really something that I really enjoyed doing throughout the segment too that I started was the Underbird Lap podcast with Bryce Miller. We had Jeff Bodine who actually took over for after Allan's passing, he bought Allan Kowicki Racing. And so I'd love to tell you all the guests that I got lined up, but it's going to be just as cool as Jeff Bodine. And so just so cool hearing those stories and hearing all of those behind the scenes stuff that you're just not going to find on YouTube or on your internet browser. So it's just cool to hear those stories firsthand.
And final thing, Bryce, before you wrap it up, I know you have a real day job and you have other responsibilities in life. Maybe explain to people that don't know. We were talking off camera, and we'll bring it on camera now as well. This isn't a, this is your life, Bryce Miller type thing, or this isn't the TMZ segment, but you do have other responsibilities in life. And what are they?
Yeah, so I'm an industrial salesman for Packer Fasteners. So Monday through Friday, about 6 to 4 o'clock, and I really enjoy it. I love building the customer relationships and selling nuts and bolts is kind of right up your alley. You get to meet all kinds of different people throughout different industries, and a couple of my customers I actually know through racing, so it's kind of just a coincidence. So it's always fun to go and talk to those accounts and, hey, did you see the race? Where are you going this weekend? Just having those casual conversations was really cool. And then so I work a full-time job, and then I come home and I work another full-time job getting these race cars ready to go. And not only do I have my own racing, I have a driver development program that I started this year, Bryce Miller Development. We have Austin Warner from Georgia who races for us, and he just had his first podium finish a couple weekends ago. So it's so cool to see his growth. So there's a lot going on, and I got all winter to sleep and hibernate and watch the Packers.
I love that. I love that. And I love also what you said, two full-time jobs, because I've always been told, Bryce, the way you make your first million in racing is spend 2 million. Or it's always like a labor of love because you really have to put a lot into it to get a lot out of it. And so you're doing it, you're working hard, and hopefully it all pays off. So Bryce Miller, second place currently, but I have a feeling you're going to make that chase and make that race very competitive down the stretch. So thanks for taking the time today.
Of course. Thanks for having me, and looking forward to talking to you at the end of segment 3 here.
Absolutely. We will catch up with Bryce one more time, segment 3 as well, in the Kowicki Driver Development Program. Thanks for watching.